Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Marty's Toy Box. Going off of last week's video, we're going to be going over the AEW wrestlers who need action figures produced. Yes, Jade Cargill's here. She had an action figure revealed. I forgot about it, but I got to change that after I end up filming this. But the rest of them have not had action figures made, so just had to double check all of those. But anyways, AEW superstars who need an action figure. I did a WWE version of this. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. So be sure to go check that one out if you're interested. And yeah, anyways, kicking us off, AEW superstars who need an action figure. There's lots of them, lots of repeats. So I don't get why they don't just put new people in here, just like Brian Pillman Jr. Now, Brian Pillman Jr., he's not really the biggest name on the roster. But he has had some good matches. I saw him wrestle live when AEW went to Cincinnati, Ohio, where Brian Pillman Jr. is from, and of course Jon Moxley as well. And Brian Pillman, he's been in the company for a little while. He's never had a figure produced in any company in general. And I think it would be cool if we had a figure of him. Even just the people who aren't shown off on TV much, so just they're known in the company, they should have figures produced as well. I mean, I'm tired of having the Young Bucks and Chris Jericho action figures produced every other week, and everyone else just really doesn't get any sort of spotlight in the action figure lines. They have two lines now, Unrivaled, Unmatched. You would think they could make a lot more new figures, but no, they're still kind of on the theme of just repeats, which is kind of annoying. That's why I figured I would make this list. Just people who I want to see have an action figure made. Next up is Brodie King. Now, he came into AEW not that long ago, but he definitely is a big name. He was in Ring of Honor for a long time. Love Brodie King in Ring of Honor, and I love him in the House of Black with Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews. And, it's sort of a big stable. They've kind of dropped the ball with it. All three people, huge potential, could be an amazing faction. But they're just featured on Rampage, and that's about it. Not really on AEW Dynamite. Like Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews, people call them WWE, not rejects. People who WWE dropped the ball with, and yeah, they did. But AEW is kind of doing the same, not really giving them a spotlight. Yeah, their roster is big, but I mean, Brodie King, he needs a figure made. I would have put some people in here like Aleister Black and Buddy Matthews or Malachi Black, but they had WWE figures made. So I'm trying to do people who have really never had a figure, or good figure, I guess you could say, produced in the past. And Brodie King is definitely one of them. Big name in AEW. Everyone was super excited when he debuted, and now they're kind of just featured on Rampage. But Brodie King, I mean, the man's a beast. He's a monster and definitely deserves a figure made. And next up is the Acclaimed. Now, both of these men deserves action figures right here. The Acclaimed is one of the greatest gimmicks ever. He got canceled for the rap line he did. That was very, upset a lot of people, I guess you could say. But they're definitely a very good tag team, and I think they really deserve figures made. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. They've been featured on Dynamite and Rampage a lot. Not really in the title picture, sort of just a mid-card tag team, I guess you could say. Although they're really good. And Max Caster on the mic is just top-notch, amazing. And yeah, I mean, we just haven't really had that many tag teams have AEW figures made. We had SCU, Jungle Boy Luchasaurus, the Young Bucks, Penta, and Rey Fenix. And, the Acclaim is definitely worthy of having some action figures made. Even if you put it in a 2-pack, just have them have some action figures made for a AEW Unrivaled or Unmatched set. And then next up is Wayla Yoda. Now, okay, hear me out. Wayla Yoda was introduced into AEW not that long, or he was in AEW for a little bit now, but he hasn't really been shown off that much. But now the man's getting a big push. ROH Pure Champion. Great match, by the way, against Josh Woods. ROH Pure Champion, now member of the Blackpool Combat Club with Moxley and Danielson, with William Regal as the manager. I mean, what a spot for them to put the kid in. And they really did a good job on building him as a star, having him compete with Bryan and lose, but then have a bloodbath with Moxley and lose again. But he earned their respect. I really loved how they've played out that storyline. And he's getting a big push. He has holding a title in Ring of Honor. He's now with three of the biggest names in sort of wrestling history, sort of modern day. Well, William Regal not really modern day, but everyone knows who William Regal is. Everyone knows who Jon Moxley or Dean Ambrose is, and everybody knows who Daniel Bryan / Bryan Danielson is as well. It's a great spot for him, and he is definitely on the rise in AEW and is worthy and deserves a action figure produced. And then next up is Jay Lethal. Now, Jay Lethal didn't arrive in AEW until I think it was October or September of last year when ROH announced they were going to take a couple-month hiatus. And Jay Lethal has had a figure produced, but it was in the company. I forget what the company's name is off the top of my head. But it was one of the worst figures I've ever seen. Let me know in the comment section below who made the figures. I forget the company's name. But they made the absolute worst figures ever. They made Kevin Steen and Kevin Steen, Adam Cole, Jay Lethal. But the figures are just absolutely horrendous. And, Jay Lethal, big star in Ring of Honor. And, he's sort of becoming a bigger star in AEW as we speak. Might have changed since I filmed this video. But yeah, Jay Lethal is definitely deserving of a figure. A good figure as well. I loved his Ring of Honor World title run back in, I want to say it was 2014, 2013, around that time period when he held the title with Truth Martini. Oh, it was fantastic. And, Jay Lethal, he deserves a good action figure made in AEW. And then next up is the Bunny. Now, we haven't really had that many women's figures produced. We had Nyla Rose, Brandy Rhodes, Rio, and a couple other people, Britt Baker, and we haven't really seen the Bunny and just people on her level having a figure produced. So I definitely think she is worthy of a figure. Been in AEW for a long time and just is worthy of having a figure produced. And then Ruby Soho. Now she had some produced as Ruby Riott in WWE, but I figured I would make an exception for her. She's got a whole new look to her, the orange hair, everything like that. She's been in AEW for a little bit over a year, or maybe a long over a year. I don't really know the exact time frame. And, she hasn't been utilized much. She was utilized in the beginning, and they got dropped the ball with her. But she's a big name. Everyone loved when she debuted. Definitely worthy. And she's got a whole new look. So I figured I would put her on this list as someone who needs an AEW action figure produced. As she just rebranded everything about her. Her hair, her name, and just everything like that. And so yeah, she deserves a figure produced. And then next up we have, last but not least, I guess I could say, we have Jamie Hayter. Now, going on with the Bunny, we haven't really had that many not lower tier women, but we've had a couple of the bigger names, Nyla Rose, Rio, Britt Baker, and stuff like that. And Jamie Hayter and the Bunny are both deserving. They're really good athletes and wrestlers. And, they got to try to incorporate more women's figures into the line. I would say we've had maybe 6, possibly, woman figures produced out of the, I want to say, 80 or 90 figures that have been produced overall. They kind of need to jump the number on that. And I think the Bunny and Jamie Hayter are both deserving of having figures produced. And a lot of other women and just superstars on the roster in AEW as well. So yeah, that is all I do have for this list. If you want to see more videos like this, going over more people who need an AEW figure or WWE, could even do some New Japan ones, just let me know down in the comments section below. And I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.